this whole chat GPT thing is such a bizarro moment. And I think we're going to have to change a lot of things. And the reason is that the interface is exactly what we need. And I used to always say, right? So I'm a professor of innovation, and I've sort of thought about this for years and years and years, and I've been dealing with computers for a long part of my life. I remember, the introduction. I remember reading about the information superhighway in 1993 in Popular Mechanics, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" And then I remember when Google actually came out because I was in my, was in my engineering program. And I remember when Google actually came out, and somebody said, "Hey, have you checked out this new search engine?" My wife called it Goggle at the time. um, when I told her about it, and she was like, "Well, what's this goggle thing?" um, so I just want everybody to know that the interface with this is just bizarre, and it's not it's not just like a leapfrog kind of thing, but it's going to change the way that we actually deal with computers. In fact, it's probably completely changed the way we might not even use Google search anymore. I can imagine Google is kind of freaking out at this moment with Google search. I don't even know how this is going to be done because you don't need any of those results. That's the problem with the information that was providing. And Google search was providing all of this useless information that was just like overwhelming, right? And it was just more and more information. We don't need that. We could just ask it, and it will give you the appropriate information instantly. Now, it is not 100% accurate at this moment. That's the challenge, right? And they're going to be working on this for a decade, probably even more. But this is very much a moment where there is like a quantum leap. And I haven't seen, and it's weird because I'm walking around and I'm trying to tell people like how big of a deal this is because the interface is completely different. And I don't think people really understand what this actually means. And I'm actually like concerned that even, the app market on your phone might be, I don't know. I'm almost like concerned that all those apps are actually may disappear, right? Because you no longer need those apps anymore, and you don't need to sort of point and click. You could just say, "Take me to this," and it will take you to that. And it would be very super super fluid in terms of. So that's the problem with computers, right? It's always been the interface. I remember when the iPad came in and that sort of touch screen, and that was a quantum leap where it was like, wow, this is insane. Um, this is even more insane because it is the one thing that computers have been missing is the sort of fluid interaction that you would have. And this is going to completely change human behavior. Um, it's going to be just bizarre, right? In terms of what not immediately what is possible is going to be a spectacular amount of productivity gain. Now, whether this will just lead to a shift in productivity across everybody, that's quite possible. Um, but I can also see a lot of it's very disruptive. I could see a lot of jobs that are pretty redundant or kind of manual just disappearing. But there are some manual things that might actually become increasingly more important. So, I was thinking about my wife. She's got this career as in the healthcare profession, dealing with animals. And I was like, well, it's probably not going to affect her because she's interacting with people a lot. But that's just not true at all, because now the interface is going to be. It'll tell you exactly what that thing is. Now, it's still going to require intelligence, human intelligence, right now, right? So imagine that it is like at 75% of human intelligence, right? If you look at it, you'll know and you'll realize like but it will generate something that is very good, like an 80% of of there. And it's like for most people, that's going to be pretty like done, right? Like that's good enough, right? But I think like a lot of generalist kind of careers um, are very much going to disappear, and it is really crazy in terms of what this actually means. Um, I don't know. I mean, a lot of sort of I don't know. It's just really seismic in terms of what this means in the future. And it's like one of those moments. There's this old video on the internet of this guy seeing the double rainbow, and I don't know if you know. I've seen it, but he's like a double rainbow, and he's freaking out when he sees it, and he's like, "What does this mean?" Um, that's kind of that. That's kind of what's going on right now. It's very much a seismic shift in how we deal with things. I didn't know that that would be so. Before, the reason why is that the interface has always been really kind of not great, but the combined of the artificial intelligence behind, um, the ability to chat and the ability to converse pretty fluently, those two things together are unreal. And it it is a wild moment. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see some really crazy changes in the next few years in so many industries that are. Uh, I'm very reluctant to make any sort of predictions in terms of what's going to go on, but it's just going to be crazy, absolutely crazy. We're at such a seismic shifting time, um, from changing the auto industry to this to um, a lot of things. It's just going to be really really bizarre, and there's going to be lots of people that are going to push back on it and say we shouldn't do these kind of things. But it's technology; you can't slow it once it's actually started. Or I mean, you can guide it for sure, but you can't really slow it. Um, and I think that's where we're headed. Effectively in the long run, this is going to lead to enormous human prosperity and robotic prosperity. I am at the moment right now where I am thinking of, like, I'm very much thinking of the singularity that was a prediction many years ago that people found hard to believe, where robots and humans are going to be like basically one of the same, and you're going to not know which one is which. And I think we're kind of there, and we might have to start really going to the philosophical questions of like are robots humans and things like really really crazy moments in history. Um, it's it's there. We're seeing it right now. It's unraveling. Boy, oh boy. Which was science fiction in the past is definitely here. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.